Hello everybody, Jake your resident content cowboy here, yeehaw, and it is that time again. We have a new Pokemon that has released into Pokémon Unite, and it's time for me to decide whether or not you should buy the new Pokemon. We are talking about Latios, or as my comments call it, Latinos, which is incorrect. Latios is a new ranged attacker that has come to the game, and this Pokemon is particularly interesting because it is free, so you don't need to buy it if you don't want. In fact, I would say for most everybody right off the bat, don't buy it. Just unlock it for free unless this is like your absolute favorite thing ever. Also, it'll be really interesting to see how it pairs with Latios when that comes out. So there are a lot of reasons to chill on this Pokemon for now and just play the event and unlock it. Okay. This Pokemon is equal parts really fun and kind of not very fun. And let me break that down for you. So there are two movesets. There is either the Draco Meteor or Dragon Pulse. Both feel really good in different ways and also not good at all. So here's the weird thing with this Pokemon. And I gotta say, one thing I'm super curious about is how this Pokemon's win rate is gonna shake out. Because what Latios does, essentially it hits level 5 and you choose between Dragon Pulse and Draco Meteor. Once you hit level 5, you begin to stack Aeon Power. I believe they call it Aeon Power. And every time you hit an opposing Pokemon on the enemy team with that first move, either Pulse or Meteor, you start to build stacks. You also build stacks by KOing wild Pokemon. And your moves get better at intervals of 25 stacks, 25, 50, 75, on and on and on, until you're near the end of the match. And ideally you have like at least 100, hopefully over 125, maybe even 150 stacks by the time you get to the end of the match. For most of the match, Latios feels fine, every once in a while pretty dang good, and oftentimes underwhelming. Because you just don't have enough stacks to do enough damage yet. It's a Pokemon that scales better and better and better as the match goes on, but what I've personally found because of this is you are not having a great time for a lot of the match. It does feel like sort of an attacker version of Tyranitar a bit, but I don't know. It's weird. I don't know the exact number it's at. It might be at about 75 stacks. Maybe it's closer to 100 or even 125. But there is a moment, and it's oftentimes for me near the end of the game, like near the Rayquaza fight, where all of a sudden, the entire match you felt good, okay, right? Then, boom, you're overpowered. Like it's this weird thing where you go the entire match not feeling great, and for me, not always having the most fun throughout a match, and then right at the end, you're kind of crazy good and you're one-shotting things and it's stupid. I don't know what to make of it, except I wish that the curve with this Pokemon was a little less, I wish it felt more gradual. To me, it feels like, oh, wow, this thing is unbelievably good. And that isn't the most fun, because what I've found is a lot of matches with Latios, I'm just farming. I'm farming wild Pokemon. I'm like farming my opponents with my move 1, where I'm just gathering more and more stacks. And because of that, it doesn't feel like I'm playing a super active role in the match. I'm kind of just passively building my Pokemon up so that later in the match I can have a big fight and win. And you definitely can. So as you move into sort of the later fights, either Pulse or Meteor both become really strong at that point. So Dragon Pulse, if you hit a Luster Purge first, which is one of your second moves, if you hit that first into a Pulse, you're one-shotting certain things on the other side, right? Like one-shotting or almost one-shotting them with this combination. You do leave yourself a bit exposed after that because your Dragon Pulse is your dash move, so after that's been used, you don't have a lot of tools to escape except for an eject button or something. So you are punishable, but your damage is pretty ludicrous. However, it's not super fun, I wouldn't say. It's just sort of a little dash, and then you auto something. It's kind of similar to the feeling of hitting, like an Icicle Spear or whatnot. And then you hit them with your boosted attack that it gives you, and then all these little like orbs of energy go, and then you do a lot of damage. And that's what you've been building up for all game. Is early on you have none of those little orbs going, and then you get some at 25, they go, and then more and more and more and more until you're doing ludicrous amounts of damage. But you've had to play through this entire game with something that just wasn't that exciting. I think that's like my big takeaway from this Pokemon is it doesn't feel particularly strong, not awful either throughout most of the match, then it's way too good, and the entire time, I'm not really having a great time. Yeah, I don't know. They do this with a lot of kind of the legendaries and mythicals that are added to the game. Sometimes I feel like their movesets are just pretty uninspired, like Mewtwo Y and Mewtwo X, obviously. And I'm kind of feeling that a little bit with Latios. I liked Latios more on the PTS. I just kind of liked how some of the abilities worked with it. But yeah, after playing a lot of this Pokemon, I have a few questions in my mind, which are the people playing this having a great time? I'm not. I don't think I'm having a great time playing it. Are they winning a lot with it? I could see that you could be, for sure, especially if you're able to just farm. Like, just farm wild Pokemon, farm your opponents. You walk near the end of the game and I've gotten like multiple like triples, quadras, pentas in those moments where you're just way too strong. And you're kind of like, one dash, got one. One dash, got another. One dash, you know, it's just like, you're just delete, 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 delete. And then other games, your opponents have a good speedster. It's hard for you to farm. An ally on your team just will not let you get last hits. No one has EXP share around you. And it's kind of a miserable 10 minutes with this Pokemon. So my overall thought on should you buy Latios is no. I do not love this Pokemon. I would unlock it for free. I don't know if it's going to get a buff because the Pokemon is not winning. I'm curious to see if this Pokemon gets a buff simply because, or even not a buff, but like just sort of a scaling rework, because I really think that most of the match is fine, but I wish it felt like you were doing more. It feels like you're farming. It's like farming simulator in one way or another, right? Wild Pokemon or farming Aeon power against enemy Pokemon. But I don't know, I just feel a little bored by it. That being said, that's more Dragon Pulse. I actually think Draco Meteor is insanely fun. I don't think it's as good, but I do find it to be very, very fun. Now, there are certain enemy team comps that you just can't really farm your Meteor stacks into, but if your enemy team comp doesn't have a lot of dive, and you kind of know where they're gonna be on the map, they sort of, they kind of want to bunch up and play together and get healed by Clefable or something, you will farm so many Meteor stacks and it will be so incredibly fun. It's just such an enjoyable thing to do. For whatever reason, for me, that's like, that tickles the part of my brain that is having a great time in a match of Unite. But Dragon Pulse, I don't know, is not it. And I'm not saying it's bad. At times it feels really overpowered, but it doesn't feel that fun. Also, just as an aside, two things. Telekinesis, one of its moves, I think is straight up bad. It's just useless, it feels like. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I haven't played it a ton. Its other move, Luster Purge, seems way better. It just works so much better with both of its movesets. And then its Unite move is not good or fun. It's crazy because it's a sure hit with like max range. However, it takes so long to charge this up. Most of the time I've charged it up, you either get stunned out of it, annoying, or the Pokemon is KO'd and then it just cancels it. I feel like I never really enjoy this Unite move. And I gotta say, I wish I was more hyped on the playstyle of this release. Outside of everything else, maybe it'll have a 61% win rate, and I'll go, well, it being overpowered near the end of the match really was a big thing. But for me, the playstyle of this, I'm just not in love with it. I wish I liked it more. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. Grind the event, get it for free. Maybe we'll see some changes to it. Maybe not. Maybe it's plenty strong, and this is where they're gonna keep it. But yeah, I've not been in love with the playstyle of it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really curious. Do you have it? What do you think? Are you enjoying it? I might be on an island here. I might be alone with this thought process. So please let me know in the comments. Thank you guys. I'll see y'all next time. We did it.